And welcome to our weekly special Rebound and Recovery. Well, as we told you earlier, talks between Congress and the White House have once again stalled when it comes to an agreement on another stimulus package related to COVID-19. And right now, so many people, including millions of people in our area, are struggling. Household budgets really feeling the pinch right now.
And it might not surprise you that many surveys indicate that people are very worried about their financial status. Well, Tom Ziska reporting live for us again to tell us what he learned from some experts. Good afternoon to you, Tom.
Rashi, Jonathan, last week 1.2 million people filed for new unemployment benefits. It's a slight improvement week over week, but tens of millions of us are still out of work and need a plan to stretch what money we have. As Edgar Nunnally tinkers in his garage bike shop, he says he was not surprised by the layoff that came 3 weeks ago.
You mentally prepare for it. It's still tough.
But now, with a couple of teenage sons and a wife working part-time, there have been some sleepless nights for sure, worrying whether savings and emergency money will hold until he finds work again.
Will I have to dip into those extra funds? Will I have to stretch those funds? Will I be able to find a position?
That is a really valid concern and something that we all should be taking a very good look at.
Bobby Rebell is a personal finance expert from the debt management service Tally. Their recent survey of unemployed Americans finds 45% are worried they will run out of emergency funds, while 1 in 4 fear future paychecks will be smaller than before the pandemic. To protect financial resources that remain, Rebell says the core strategy is cutting expenses wherever possible. Among those, negotiating with creditors, landlords, credit cards, utilities. Most would prefer something over nothing, and it's likely not the first time they've had this conversation.
Most of them have systems in place where you don't have to say, can I speak to your supervisor? Can I speak to your manager? And so on. The person you speak to on the phone often is already authorized with a checklist of things that they can offer you.
She also recommends looking for work that may be in a different field to bring in money and maybe benefits like health insurance. Meantime, for those who are employed but worry about a pink slip, Rebell says protect what money you have. Pay the bills, deal with high interest debts, but otherwise play it safe.
You want to feel secure. You want to have the money that is available to you, so make sure you have it accessible and liquid.
For Edgar Nunnally, it is all of the above, with some cautious optimism that his plans will meet the challenge.
We're okay for a little bit, and so we haven't necessarily sat down and just put the budget and the numbers to it. Fingers crossed that we don't get to that point.
And also, when the time comes that lawmakers are able to reach agreement for another stimulus package, Bobby Rebell, the financial planner, encourages people to take full advantage of whatever benefits they may qualify for. Watching Your Money Tonight, I'm Tom Ziska, Fox 26 News.
Coming up next, one business is booming during the pandemic. We're talking about telemedicine. A look at the rise of the virtual visits and how local doctors plan to continue using it in the future.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, as Houstonians work to rebound and recover from the COVID-19 virus, a mix of stay-at-home orders and technology have opened up a whole new world of medicine. In fact, more and more patients are now turning to their smartphones or computers to have doctor's appointments. Fox 26's anchor Melissa Wilson has more.
Dean Dalton lives in Houston, but before COVID-19 was often visiting another country as he owns a tour company. He never considered trying telemedicine until it was his only choice during the pandemic.
Most of the doctor's visits, when you stop and think about it, are just a matter of communication. Sure, there are times the doctor needs to poke you and look down your throat or whatever, but they can do that with the Zoom for that matter. To most things are just a matter of saying, here are my problem, here are my symptoms. The doctor asks a few questions, says, okay, I'll send a prescription out for you, and that's the end of it.
Dalton calls it a positive experience and has now tried it while out of state and says it's beyond convenient.
Hi, I'm Dr. Aga with Kelsey-Seybold Telemedicine.
His doctor at Kelsey-Seybold Clinic agrees.
And I think that what we've learned here is that where it can be appropriately applied, how patients adapt to the technology, and then we have to be flexible. So if it is a condition that we can see virtually, let's recommend that first. If it needs to be in person, then come on in and we can safely see you.
Dr. Donnie August says he now uses telemedicine to treat acute illnesses like a cold, bronchitis, or back pain. He also provides virtual chronic care for conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, and asthma. Take a look at how Kelsey-Seybold Clinic has been treating their 500,000 patients. Before the pandemic, 98% of patients were seen in person, only 2% via telemedicine. Back in March, when Houston first shut down because of COVID-19, it flipped. They transitioned to 10% in person and 90% virtually. Now it has leveled off to 75% in person and 25% virtually. Dr. August says doctors are usually able to spend more time online with patients. Many hope to keep it virtual in the future. Valuable time's on the line, especially with typical traffic in Houston.
In-person visit is 3.5 to 4 hours out of your day between making an appointment, driving across town, the traffic, check in, check out. A video visit is 15 minutes of your time.
If you're impressed with how far telemedicine has come in the past few months, Dr. August says, just wait for the future.
Where you're at home, you have your Alexa device hooked up to your phone, which is also hooked up to your iWatch, which is monitoring your pulse. And then you have an electrical disturbance of your heart. And Alexa says, hey, Melissa, I think there's something wrong with your heart. And it goes into your My Chart, makes an appointment with a doctor, or calls 911 for you, and automates all these things that are home detection devices and interacts it with the healthcare community to get you healthcare very quickly.
And he believes that's only a year or two away. Melissa Wilson, Fox 26 News.
For the first time, there's no set date for kids to be back in class, but staff at St. Pius X High School say they are working out the details for when that happens.
We've had the occasional influenza season, but this is just another level.
The new system starts at the doors, where face masks are required for everyone, with social distancing and navigation signs to prevent crowding.
Move closer.
Students and staff will get their first pass or fail at the temperature scanning kiosks, complete with health checks.
We are looking at other aspects. We're going to get students here safely. We're equipping our education frontline workers with the PPE that they need.
A lot of plans, a lot of questions still up in the air. What might that look like for the school day?
Students will be on a block schedule. So when we return, those 50% of our students who will be in school while their classmates are at home, but tuned in via technology.
For this private Catholic school, cleanliness is next to godliness, using fog machines to get to hard-to-reach areas, along with a focus on sanitizing high touch points throughout the day.
We need to disinfect in a daily basis. We need to be more focused on details, so we take more time to clean the facility.
Stratus Building Solutions has worked with the campus for years, now adding their Project Protection, which includes color-coded cleaning cloths for specific areas and spray coatings that fight germs and viruses.
You know, we can do everything we can here on the campus to keep them safe, and then when they leave here, we're hoping that they, take those practices with them.
Preventing the spread of COVID-19 may also require teachers to get more hands-on in keeping surfaces clean, and for students, fighting the urge to be more social so the doors can stay open. In North Houston, Chelsea Edwards, Fox 26 News.